Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. This is going to be my Declutter Regrets for September. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. A lot of you were telling me to please continue this video series, so that's what we're doing. I still have a bunch of declutters that I did back in the day. But we are doing a fast forward to 2019. The things I was talking about before were declutters from 2017. That's a declutter I did to prepare for the move to this house that I live in currently. I've been living here for almost 8 years now. And this was the first time filming a declutter in this space, like where I'm living now. I remember like sitting on the floor and filming this. And at the time, apparently I had a dedicated face palette collection. It's a short and sweet video, so I'm just going to play it to see what was going on in my makeup collection at the time, face palette-wise. To put things into perspective, I currently own 2 face palettes. Okay? I have a Dior one that I love to travel with, and I have my sleek one that I like to travel with. That's what I pretty much only use face palettes for. I ended up decluttering a lot of face palettes over time. Because I just wasn't using them. I think this was also like, I can see here in the thumbnail, there was like some Zoeva things here, and NARS, and Kat Von D. Okay, let's see what's going on in this video today. So about 2 minutes of the video were me doing an intro. What can we see here? Oh, I see an Anastasia palette. Catrice, or Essence, CoverGirl. W7, I used to use that a lot. The Wet n Wild stuff, Rimmel, some sleek things. I got quite a few sleek things actually. Elf, more Catrice, a Z palette I think with Depotted Benefit things. NARS, more Essence, some random bits that I don't really know what they are. So let's have a look at what's going on in this face palette collection. As I mentioned, me and face palettes, we don't really go together. And as I can see a lot of like highlighting and contouring, like duos and stuff, which at the time was really trending, and I've tried it all and I know I don't use it. So I'm grabbing the e.l.f. one first here. Let's see what's going on there. Oh, here is the e.l.f. one that I used to have. And this had bronzer, blush, and highlight in, but it was actually 3 palettes that I condensed down into one. So e.l.f. used to do these palettes that had like products in that you could pop out. They did a highlight version, a blush version, and a bronzer version. And I combined it all into one. And I actually had this for a long time. I only decluttered this version, I think this year. So that's an oldie but a goodie. I used to love traveling with this. I love traveling with it because it had the cool tone and the warm tone in. And they were good tones for me, but they were very similar to one of the sleek palettes I have that I still own. And I'm grabbing for a sleek palette here. So I'm really curious. This is the one I still have. This is the Face Form in Fair. It's got bronzer, blush, and highlight. This is such a standard product. It's old by now, but it still works. You know, I bust it out once a year and it's fine. I'm grabbing for this NARS palette. See, I used to own NARS, people. I definitely did. I just decluttered it all over time. Either the packaging or the products went bad, and something like this, I wasn't using it. It had some beautiful shades in, I can tell. This video is quite dark, though, I have to say. I now have much better lighting options for sure. But I wasn't using it. I used to own NARS Laguna, bronzer, and stuff like that. And just figured out it wasn't for me. And I think Laguna was in this palette as well. So not sure if I'm getting rid of it in this palette here, but I definitely don't regret getting rid of that over time. Let's see what we're grabbing for next. Oh, this Catrice thing. I remember this being not that great. It was really thick indeed. It had really weird packaging. And this was beautiful, but I believe it had creams and like powders in one palette, and it always gives me the ick. I never know what to do with that, so that was an easy declutter for sure. This is a Catrice thing. I don't know what the name of it is anymore, but it was this duo. This was beautiful. This was a good sort of bronzer combo. It was a contour and a highlight, but I remember also like it was a little bit on the chalky side, so I do remember having better things in my collection. but I do think this survived a couple of rounds of declutter because I just didn't have anything that worked for me this well shade-wise, because that was usually my issue with bronzers back in the day, just being too warm toned for me. This is another option by Catrice. It's like the updated version of the thing I was already holding. I think I'm explaining that here as well. It just had a slightly different highlight option here, but I didn't need this, so I think I'm keeping the old version over the new version here because I like the formula in the old version a touch better than I did in this newer one. Then I'm grabbing for the W7 Hollywood Bronze and Glow, I believe. This is a dupe, of course, for the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. You can see I've used this product a lot. This, for the longest time, was one of my favorite bronzers. I was using it all the time. I also... Do I still have the Charlotte Tilbury version? I think I gifted it away this year. I just wasn't using enough, but it's like one of the very few Charlotte Tilbury bronzers that did work for me. Wet n Wild, that was lovely, but again, not the right undertones for me, which is why I'm decluttering it. Rimmel, same thing. I just felt like all of these face palettes were giving the same thing. Like, this is essentially the Sleek palette. It just has a more yellow-toned highlight in, which I didn't need because the Sleek one already had that. So, you know what I mean? The Kat Von D Shade and Light face palette. I think I also used to have the Shade and Light eye palette. And these were good tones. I actually bought this one of the Anastasia contour kit because these shades were better for me. So I know I liked it. I'm keeping it here as well, I believe. I had that for years. This is a version from Makeup Revolution. So at the time, I was still very much into Makeup Revolution. Not a brand I shop from anymore all that often. This was, again, beautiful. I think I kept this around for a couple of renditions as well. But again, it just does the same thing as everything else. So I didn't really need it in my life. Ooh, we're doing a transition here. This is an Essence palette. I did like this. It had some beautiful things in, but I was more prone to be using the face products in this palette as eyeshadow. And having eye and face products in one palette is just... I think that's one of the last things I actually owned that did that, and I've steered away from it completely. These are indeed deep potted benefit things. So this came into a kit, and I took them all out. I used to love Dandelion. I used to own Coralista as a single that I hit pan on. Hula was in here. I had this around again for quite some time because I liked the powder so much, but because it was deep potted and it was stuck in a Z palette, I was just never reaching for it, so... Not sad to see that go. This is by Quo, I think it said. Not sure how I got my hands on this. I either got it in a giveaway or in a makeup swap type of situation. Didn't really need that in my life. I had shades like this all over my collection already. That's another thing with face palettes. Like, very often, I will have a single that will do the same thing. That's why I don't own any of the Hourglass palettes, even though I think they look stunning. I have the shades that I like from Hourglass already. Ooh, these are more Sleek palettes. These are blush palettes, though. And this is why I didn't own certain Sleek singles at the time, because I had them in these palettes. This one is obviously for deep skin, so I'm not sure what I was trying to do there. This one was fun, but it has too many oranges, and I have plenty of these bright pinks as well. So again, things I did end up decluttering. Again, blush palettes. Not really for me. It's just something I just don't get the use out of. I will reach for a single over a palette any time of day. Zoeva had some beautiful face palettes as well. These looked very similar to their eyeshadow palettes though, so I would always mix them up. This had beautiful shades in, especially that like deeper tone on the left. That was stunning, but again, too similar to things I already owned, and the other two shades I wasn't very prone to wearing. So that's another issue with face palettes, is very often with my fair skin, there's one shade I like, and then the other two I'm like, these were all bad. And this was also from the Opulence collection, and that was actually a collection that didn't have the same type of quality as the other products that Zoeva used to do as well. So both the face and the eye palette weren't the best. And then we have 6 more things left, and the Sleek palette, what's this again? Oh, it's one of those cream things. They also did a gold version of this that went viral. But this, again, had a cream in with powders. But this was beautiful. It had blue highlight, though. And it was a bit chalky, so I used my Anastasia more. This is the Moonchild palette. And this was beautiful. It was the first time I ever had tried multi-chrome or like duochrome highlighters in, I'm keeping it here. It had a green toned highlighter in, which I did enjoy at the time, but I was using them more as inner corner highlights for my eyeshadows. I was like, I can do that with eyeshadow. I don't need a face palette for that. This Galaxy in a Box thing from Catrice, I remember not being great. And again, a cream with powders without any protectors. Make it make sense, people. Make it make sense. Then we just have some drugstore things left here. Let's see what we're grabbing for. We are grabbing the Essence thing in the middle. This was from some limited edition collection, the top one as well. Like, this is another thing, like Essence and Catrice did so many of these things over the years, and I was testing them all out for reviews. It makes you tired after a while because you just realize this is just not your product. And sometimes I would buy these things just so that I would have a new blush, bronzer, and highlighter for the review. I think that's pretty much what happened with Go for the Glow here. But these were beautiful. Like, there's nothing wrong with the products. It's just something I know I won't get the use out of, which is why I now tend to skip any sort of face palette like releases or things. This is by CoverGirl. I must have picked it up in the States. These look like 3 highlighters, which is probably why I wasn't using it. Yes. Oh, the only swatch in the entire video. So yeah, first section here are the palettes I'm getting rid of. So I'm getting rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 in total. I don't see the NARS in here yet, even though I know I got rid of that. Like most of these things, as I mentioned. I only currently have 2 face palettes in my collection, and there were like, what, 16? So this went through some renditions, you can tell. So yeah, I got rid of 8 of them, which I think, you know, it was good. I mean, at this point in time, I was much more in my, like, I need to test things out kind of phase. And I feel like this was in 2019, so that was 6 years ago. At this point, I just know what I like. I know what's going to get the use. I know what's not going to get the use. And I know that some people come to this channel, of course, now in 2025, and they sort of missed my like growing up phase in like 2018 and 2019. I really feel like 2018, 2019 moving into 2020 was like when I really like matured as a makeup user, and I was just trying everything left, right, and center. And then I sort of tried to like narrow things down a bit more in the past couple of years. So I definitely feel like my makeup life has like, I've changed and I know what I like. And it's not that I don't like to test out new things. Like last year, all of a sudden I was like, I need more vampy lipsticks in my life. And I started doing things like this again. I was like, oh, that's beautiful. So it's not that I don't want to test things out, but it's more like I'm feeling like I want to wear more things that I know I'm going to enjoy. And like with face palettes, I just know up front, I'm not gonna get the use, so I won't be using it. So that's why I can stay away from that. So thank you so very much for watching me here today. Thumbs up this video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more by me. And then I hope to see you again really, really soon in a new video. Bye-bye.